I'm going to, it used to give me a countdown.
Yeah, you're live.
Oh,
Okay.
We're live. We're looking at ourselves right now.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Without further ado, we have James and Ashley from Chicks Life, one of our trusted affiliates. We are super excited not only to introduce them to our viewers, but to talk about all things RVing with kids, homeschooling, dirt biking, their YouTube channel. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. We had a little bit of some technical difficulties. That is me. That's not necessarily a wholesale warranty thing. That is a Jim thing. My name is Jim Hoffman. I'm vice president here at Wholesale Warranties. We're super stoked to have James and Ashley on. How are you guys doing? What's new? What's exciting?
Oh man, so much has changed in this past few months. It's crazy. Well, not to mention the world is crazy, but we actually just bought some property in Washington to have a home base to come back to for our RVing. So we're kind of in like a holding. We haven't done a whole lot of travels lately because we bought this property a couple months ago and we've been doing massive remodels on it. But we're super excited to have a place of our own to come back to, because talking with any RVers, full-time or part-time, whatever, I think that's one of the big things that people burn out about, is not having that home base to come back to. Not necessarily a really big house or anything like that, but just like a place to park. So some people buy permanent RV spots at campgrounds, some people do land, some people have homes. We bought some land and we're like remodeling this old shop and converting it into like a tiny-ish house. So that's kind of what we're doing for our home base, which we're really excited about.
But it's like more than double what we live in right now.
Yeah.
So
It's more than double what?
What we live in right now.
But
so.
it's 850 square feet, which is what the size of the place is gonna be. So for a home, it's tiny, but for
us,
for our lifestyle, it's like huge.
Nice. And I think, I think with COVID and everything that's going on, I mean, there is no norm, right? Everybody's norm has been turned upside down. So whatever makes people smile is I think the right call. So guys, that's super exciting. So you got some land.
Yes.
And I can't agree more. I think the something they call home is probably more important, and kind of, speaking selfishly, it would be almost like a necessity with everything that's going on. So congratulations, man. That's how, and we'll get to kind of the kids later, but how are the kids like in having a little piece of land and staying still for a little bit?
Good.
It's good, bad.
Good and bad. Like when you're 8, like, the grass is always greener. So like there'll be times when we were like on the other side of the country and she'll be like, when are we gonna go see Grammy and Pops, or when are we gonna go be back here? And now it's like, now that we've been here for a couple months, when are we gonna travel? I'm tired of being in the same place. When are we gonna go somewhere?
Right.
It's like my yard never changes, and I'm like, okay.
Small little thing, sure.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, with 2 little ones, I know ours are like, when are we going to get on an airplane and go visit grandma? And I'm like, it's going to be a while. It's going to be.
The whole COVID situation has been a tough thing to explain. Like our 3-year-old, it's all over her head, but our 8-year-old, it's been definitely a tough 6-7 months or however long it's been. So, but we couldn't be more happy with getting the property, especially like this whole pandemic has just kind of driven home how important it is to have that place to be able to fall back on and call home and have that home base. So we're definitely not done traveling by any means, but I think the way we're going to travel will change. Instead of like, being gone for 6 months plus, or just, always trying to find where to go. Maybe we'll do more of like plan a 3-month trip doing this, or, a couple months here and that kind of thing, and then come back in between. That way the kids get that mix of getting that travel and going out and about, but having that continuity, that stability of having a home and coming back and seeing family and that kind of thing. So I think that's our goal, but first we have to finish.
We have to finish
the house first.
Finish the house, and we'll get into some of the cardio that you guys have been doing. But I think to touch on a point for those that are just joining, we have James and Ashley from Chick Life, and I think one of the best things that you guys have going on right now is you started full timing and you were out there and you're, you know, sharing your story. And now I think a lot of RVers are, I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't a lot of people even more so reaching out to you guys to say, okay, how are you going to navigate this? You know, you got to land. And for those of you that are joining that are maybe new to the industry, or are full timers who are looking to kind of slow down a little bit, really recommend website and YouTube just to kind of see how they're doing it. So, James, I heard you're doing a little bit of digging.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, both of you. Both of you.
Ashley actually did a lot more of the by hand digging.
Well,
so
that's because
huge props to her.
he had to do the
We
electric stuff.
Yeah.
Things that I'm like,
Got it.
So the property didn't have water on it when we bought it. So we just recently had a well dug. Unfortunately, I can't dig a 150-foot deep well myself. Otherwise, I would have. But we hired a company to dig the well. But then everything from the well to the pump house and pump house to the house, all that we're doing ourselves. So we just dug about 170 feet of trench, 100 of which we had a tractor for, but about 70 feet of which Ashley and I had to dig by hand. So our bodies are quite sore right now. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there saying, why didn't you rent a trencher? And the short answer is we're cheap.
yeah.
So we didn't want to rent a trencher.
No, I think, but, you know, I think for the people in, you know, who hopefully are visiting your site and stuff like that, I mean, the RV community and it's not uncommon to be cheap. I mean, you're not living this lifestyle, you know, for your own reason. So I think most people, I mean, personally, I went kayaking for like 5 minutes and I laid in bed the next day. Like I didn't get out. So just the whole concept of you guys, when you said earlier, like 70 feet, 2 feet down, and I was like, by yourselves? I'm like, really? So no, that's really cool. Let's see. So now you have your home base, kind of going to do some, you know, the way that you're going to travel is going to be a little bit different. You know, I think one of the things that you guys, we talked about this last time on Goose and Maverick. So for those that don't know, you guys have 2 kids. And I was going to kind of transition over to the homeschooling aspect, because there are a lot of parents, myself included, where all of a sudden it was like, hey, we're not going to take your kid. You're going to keep them.
Being thrown into that is like.
But you guys have navigated, yeah, you guys have navigated that for a little bit. So, you know, how's that experience been thus far for you guys?
I mean, I kind of think our experience is like anybody else's. We have good days and we have bad days. Like coming from an education background, it is so much easier to work with other people's kids because you're not mom.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, you also know how far you can push your child.
Sure.
Well, something was definitely less of a shock to our system because we have been homeschooling for the past 3 years. And so it wasn't like everybody else who is like having to last minute figure out, oh crap, what do we do? How do I, especially that I feel horrible for the ones that have kids that are in higher education, like, you know, high school or middle school, where it's like, I probably forgot a lot of that stuff. You know, I can do 2nd grade math and, you know, be pretty good.
Right.
My 2 times 2s and my 6 times 6s down. But anyway, so I feel bad for the parents that have had no desire to, because it really is a calling to be a homeschool parent.
Right.
So I guess I'm thankful that I have Ashley, because that's her wheelhouse.
No, and I, similar to James, I have a kindergartner, right? So, hey, Daddy, can we do the homework? And I'm like, yeah, we can. I got this. You know, and there's a little bit, you know, you feel good about yourself, or at least I do.
My handwriting's awesome.
Right? I nailed that test. But to your point, James, I think, you know, for my daughter, she didn't know any different, right? She was going into kindergarten and then they went home. But she didn't know what kindergarten was really supposed to be otherwise, but your older kids, your 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, who know what that experience is and that freedom, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit harder on them.
Well, and
But
having that interaction for them especially is hard.
yeah. And you guys are in Washington, so similar to us here in California, there's some pretty strict restrictions on how to get those little ankle biters out and playing with other children. A little tough. What would you say kind of one of the biggest challenges that you've had, like with the homeschooling, that may correlate or make sense to some of us newer parents out there trying to navigate that aspect?
What's the same?
I think that getting a routine and establishing that same as they would in a normal school has been probably really helpful. And I notice when we don't follow our routine that sometimes we'll have more pushback,
Yeah,
to say it nicely,
true.
from the kids. So just having that established routine in place and knowing they know what's going to come, and as opposed to it being random. Now, granted, the benefit of this lifestyle and the benefit of homeschooling is you can change things up and you can modify your curriculum. Like I know Ashley did a lot of things when we were traveling based on where we were.
Yeah.
So,
But to, not downplay those who are now having to homeschool, it was completely different when we started, because when we would travel, we were able to go places, do, field trips and make things exciting and fun. It's a little more difficult to do that because some museums aren't open or have limited capacity, so it makes it a little more difficult. So I guess my big thing is always for the kids, always have like that routine or make sure that they know what's going on. But for parents as well, it's important that you remember to have like grace for yourself, because we're all human.
Right.
And it's not always going to be perfect. And it's okay for the kids to maybe not do a complete day's work. If you didn't quite get it done, life will still go on. I promise. So just making sure that you have grace for yourself, I think, is important as well.
I think that I've noticed that because a lot of times we'll switch off on different days where I'll teach one day, she'll teach one day, or whatever, different things. I can get frustrated. And so giving breaks to not only the kids to go recess and run around and get out energy outside in the backyard or whatever, but also give myself breaks, because when I get frustrated or angry, then they feed off that and then it just avalanches. So it's like kind of to go along, like she says, giving grace, like give yourself a break, take a minute, try and collect, because it can be frustrating when you have little ones not cooperating.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good reminder is that recess isn't necessarily only for kids to get out there and stretch their legs, but for parents on a mental kind of break to regroup and refocus, the importance of that. So you guys kind of mentioned because your kids and yourselves, your family has pretty much kind of grown up full timing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our little one was 7 months old when we started the RV life. So yeah, she's known pretty much nothing but it.
Right. How are you guys navigating kind of the activities, and what are you guys out there doing as a family? Because I know COVID is really affecting a lot of different people. So just kind of out of curiosity, what have you guys been up to? Obviously with the property, but just out and about as well.
Our travels have been honestly pretty limited, unfortunately. We had this huge trip planned, like literally 2 weeks before the country shut down.
Yeah.
We had this huge trip planned to go through Yellowstone and up into Canada and all sorts of stuff. And then the world shut down. And so that all got canceled. So our trips have been pretty small. I mean, like most people, we didn't do anything for at least a few months. But we've done some small trips locally here in Washington. We've gone to Idaho, like we did our normal summer thing at Silverwood Theme Park once that opened back up. That was awesome, going there with family.
Did some boondocking and different places.
Yeah.
On our way there and back.
But honestly, it's been between COVID and the property that we've bought, our travels have been very limited this past 6 months or so, which has been such a change of pace for us. It's been kind of crazy.
We have a lake near our property that we love to go to, and the kids can go swimming and just get out that energy that they need to get out. Unfortunately, It's gotten a little colder, so.
I was going to say, you were mentioning, did you say 20 degrees earlier?
It's supposed to get into the 20s tonight, I think, here.
Well, it was 28 last night. I was like, oh, there.
And so the lake swimming is for the warmer days, I'm assuming.
The lake
maybe a little warmer.
Is done. That's kind of
like
over.
40s, probably.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, the last time we spoke, which hopefully our viewers have had a chance to check out your sites on YouTube, but any dirt biking, any motocross going on? What's
Other than just playing around in Central Oregon, where we were at Ashley's family when the whole world shut down.
They did a lot of four-wheeling.
We did a lot of four-wheeling and dirt biking at some BLM land out there. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, we haven't gone to any exotic or fun or random locations. So
let's give the real reason why you haven't done anything
lately. Okay. As of for the past month, about a month ago, I basically broke my foot. It wasn't actually broken, but I could not walk on it. It was a severe sprain. So we went to the emergency room, got x-rays. Yeah. Everything was fine. But I basically, everything went on hold. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything on the property. I couldn't, definitely couldn't tow the RV. So thankfully, it's almost healed. I still have it all taped up. But yeah, so for the past month, I've been pretty lame.
How'd you do it?
I jumped out of the bed of my pickup truck at Home Depot, because that's our new second home these days, is Home Depot.
Sure.
I landed on a shopping cart.
Okay. Now, even before, and to our viewers, I was unable to hear this story prior, so I'm gonna spend possibly a few minutes, unless I get cut off by James or Ashley. Looking at Ashley's face, I don't think that's gonna happen. But even going back to the beginning, when you were articulating that you kind of broke it, but you didn't, but you went to the ER for x-rays, but everything was fine, but it was all taped up. So I was kind of followed that.
He's trying to minimize everything.
Okay, let's go
like this.
Let's go chronologically. We were at Home Depot getting some was it flooring that day?
No, we got flooring that day. He was getting out and getting like
which is in the back of the truck.
Like 1,000 pounds of flooring in the bed of the pickup truck, or some enormous amount, like a pallet full. So I was loading stuff up, jumped off, my ankle and foot landed on the side of a shopping cart that somehow I didn't see, rolled it. Of course, Ashley and the girls were inside Home Depot using the restroom, so I was literally lying on the floor in the Home Depot parking lot, on the ground, rolling around, throbbing in pain until they came out and got me. And then
it's not funny. Now it is.
Then we went straight to, by the way, we haven't officially, we've teased this on our social, but haven't officially announced it. So this is like an exclusive.
This is brand new.
This is an exclusive. This is an exclusive interview.
Anyways, we went straight to the ER because I was sure it was broken, because I've fractured my toes and stuff before, and this was like way worse than that.
Right.
But, after being in the ER for about 8 hours,
that's crazy.
It was ridiculously slow. And of course, the girls couldn't be in there because of COVID. So we had the grandparents come pick up the girls. That was a whole other fiasco. But it wasn't broken. I got crutches. I got a walking boot. And they basically said, if it doesn't get better, maybe there's ligament or tendon damage. You'll have to go see a specialist. And so about a month and a half now it's been, and I think we're in the clear. I don't think I'm going to have any ligament or tendon damage, but it definitely is not 100% yet.
If you realized he's in his 30s, maybe jumping off a truck.
And I can't tell you how thankful I am that the exclusive gets to come through Wholesale Warranty on this, and I want to make sure that we push the YouTube channel, because I know you have a good following who are probably going to want to hear this. And I mean, personally, I have so many questions. I mean, this alleged shopping cart that just randomly showed up. Selfishly, I'm like, I would do something like that for an audience. So I would want to make sure my wife and kids are there to be like, look at dad. But they were in Home Depot, apparently. And
Yeah. There was a truck that saw it, though.
I was on the floor for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
On the blacktop before they got out there.
Yeah, we're walking
Right.
out. I'm like, Dad's on the ground.
Right. And
I
now
was
the
like,
kids are
"I'll run."
probably, now the kids are like not scarred, but they're worried that dad's just going to be laying on the ground every time they come out of a store. You know, they're just going to walk up and he's just, you know, in pain.
I mean, Goose was honestly the sweetest because she
Yeah.
was trying to take care of her sister so that she's like, you focus on daddy. I got this.
I'm not gonna lie, I was in tears. It was bad,
Yeah.
and so they were nervous. This is like
They've never
really
before,
seen me cry
ever.
like that before. So they were a little bit nervous.
As we're driving to the ER, I hear from the back, just drive faster, mommy. I'm like, I'm going as fast as I can.
You're like navigating the sadness and the anger pointed at James. You're also navigating the children in the back.
But like this backseat driver, like, you're not doing this right.
Yeah. You got the 8-year-old about to be 15 being like, you know, you need to signal there, mom.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
She would, while we drive across country, she will sit there and go, Daddy, do you know that the speed limit is 55 and you're going 60? And he'll be like, I know. I mean, she will throw him under the bus. If he ever got pulled over, like if an officer would be like, do you know how fast you're going? I told him.
Yeah. Make sure the ticket's a hefty one, will you, officer?
Exactly.
He
He
needs
already
to learn
knew.
his lesson.
Let him have it. Like,
Well, hopefully, you know, I know it's been about a month or so. Obviously, well wishes. Maybe there's some security footage of said event, which would be awesome. Or maybe finding how this alleged shopping cart just randomly showed up there. Like
I mean, I'll be honest, it was my shopping cart.
it didn't show up out of nowhere. He literally put it there. It was ours. He knew it was there. He like tried to pretend like this shopping cart was a ninja and like came out of nowhere, but it was right there.
I admit it, I just didn't look until I was in the air.
But you never tell anybody. You're like, out of nowhere, the shopping cart just showed up.
I did not say that.
You literally just said that. You said out of nowhere. I was curious on where it came from. And then all of a sudden you're like, it was mine. I'm like, so there the whole time.
He always is like, I don't know. This ninja cart came and
Guys, you're making me all hot and sweaty, making fun of me.
That's all right. I got tears in my eyes from humor.
oh god.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that story, James and Ashley. And
I love telling that story.
Now that everything's okay, I'm fine with it.
to use a term giddy, I am giddy for when this video comes out on your guys' YouTube channel, because I'm hoping for like either props or like a kid's drawing or something to just add a little bit of the visual.
Figures. Oh no.
Yeah. Here's daddy. I was like, ah. So talking about your YouTube, I want to talk about your guys' YouTube channel. We love it here at Wholesale Warranties. I know our marketing team is always chatting about how awesome you guys are and the videos that you guys put together. Sorry, I still have some remnants of some humor. You know, what is that something you guys always knew that you were looking to do, or where and how did that idea generate, and really what is your guys' take on, you know, on the channel that represents you guys?
I mean, I have always been into film and television and that kind of stuff. That's what I went to school for. So when I was in college back in like 06, I created my first YouTube channel to put up my really horrible short films that I made back in college and whatnot. So I've been playing around with YouTube for, my goodness, 14 plus years now. But then in what year was it? We've been doing
was when
YouTube for
Goose was
1.5. So it's been, oh my goodness, we've been on YouTube for like almost 7 years with the Chicks Life that we've been doing it. But it just started purely about us as like a family and about our life and being like normal family vloggers, which is why it's called the Chicks Life and not something cool like, you know, get out and adventure or whatever.
RV awesome.
Because it's literally about our life, which is why it's not the biggest channel in the world, because it changes depending on what our life is. Like, started out about our life and just about seeing what it's like to raise kids, and we can go back and watch those memories of Goose when she was 18 months old, which is amazing. And then it transitioned to RV life, where we were traveling the country. And then in the past month or so, we've gotten some comments like, are you guys done traveling? And it's like, well, no, we're not done traveling, but we're just focusing on this house remodel right now. And then we're going to continue traveling once we get that done, or sporadically in between. So it's not necessarily just about RVing or about dirt biking or about kids or about whatever. It's just about the Chicks Life. It's about our life, what we're doing and whatnot. So kind of selfishly, I guess, make it so we have document, because I have a horrible memory and I can go back and remember these things and whatnot. But also just it scratches that itch that I have for filmmaking and that kind of thing. So I guess, yeah, that's its inception and why it is what it is.
I mean, our story is like, it started literally with him walking out of the bedroom or his office in our first house, talking to his phone. And it was like January 1st, and he's told me,
and this is before that was normal. People don't.
Yeah, people didn't do that. And he had told me, I'm going to start vlogging. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was something like computery, nerdy, his thing.
Like writing
like,
code
okay,
or something.
Yeah, and he's like, I think I'm gonna set a goal to do it for a year. I said, go for it. I didn't know what it was. And he comes out talking to himself. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm vlogging. You're what now? And that's how it all started.
And then it's all downhill from there.
I'm like, okay.
I mean, you don't give yourself enough credit where you say it's not the biggest channel, but oftentimes, at least here at work, I'll say it's not necessarily about being the biggest or having the most followers. It's about being the best representation of yourselves and what you're trying to accomplish. And I think, selfishly and speaking on the wholesale side, there's kind of an innocence and just a fun vibe watching your guys' channel, right? It's not about trying to get the most followers, or it's not about necessarily trying to be the biggest. It's being the best version of you and just sharing your guys' life. And to be fair, James and Ash, I think it's amazing to be able to document, especially your family and especially the times when your kids are young, because you're right, a lot of generations, mine included, it's hard to go to look at things from that age, from that 0 to 8 years old, both as parents and as kids. So I personally think it's really cool.
Well, thanks.
And I mean that in all seriousness, and now I'm gonna joke a little bit there, because James, you mentioned that you started a YouTube channel when, and what did you put on there, and are those short videos still available?
Yes, and some.
Okay.
You take down like the first ones you made?
I don't know if all of them are still up. So yeah.
So bad. I mean, it's good, honey.
Well, I know what I'll be doing this weekend. So going over to kind of the RV community, how, I know you guys aren't traveling as much, and to be fair, like kind of we said at the beginning, I mean, COVID has people doing everything different than where they were 8 months ago, and wherever you are in that journey is probably exactly where you need to be, because hopefully you have a smile on your face. But prior to that, with all your guys' travels and meeting all these different people, and you have different people following you, how would you discuss or describe the RV community that you guys have seen since being full-time RVers?
It's a great community, but it is a vast and wide variety of people. Like you have people that are in their 70s and they're newlyweds. You have people that are
Those were some of our best neighbors, by the way.
yeah. You have people that are in their 20s and single, and they're more van lifers with the smaller rigs, and you have people like us who are maybe early 30s and have young kids. You have kids like it's you name it, it's there. But the one thing I think we all share is that desire and that urge to go out and explore and to adventure. And even like the personalities are like me and Ashley's personality is going to be more different. Like she is much more introverted and cautious, and I am like the complete opposite of that. But we both have the desire to go out and explore and see new things and that kind of stuff. So
I think before I leave.
yeah,
shall
I
we
don't.
say.
I jump off of truck beds on the shopping carts.
I'm
That's a
sorry.
perfect example.
I mean, Ashley would have probably seen the shopping cart, but even prior to
I
that,
probably
she probably wouldn't have jumped in the first place. And that's why there's a yin and a yang.
No,
I get it.
See, that's her problem. She was inside Home Depot instead of outside with me. She wasn't there to keep me safe.
Yeah, that's a stretch, but
Anyways, so what was the question again?
we were talking about the RV community. But
honestly, we love the community. It's amazing. We have had, I don't know, it's just a community that tends to like band together and around each other and make sure that you're okay, you have everything you need. Like we have so many stories where it's like, crud, and people have come and helped us out.
Well, one of the cool things is like we'll meet someone, a family on the East Coast, and then we'll meet up 6 months later or even a year later over in Nevada or Arizona or something like that. The cool thing is like you can go 6 months, a year without seeing these people, but then you pick right back up where you left off because you still have that same connection. So it's almost like road friends. It's a very interesting type of relationship. But like Ashley said, most everybody we've met in the RV community has been super helpful and really willing to help out, lend a hand when it's needed.
and yeah, I was gonna say for our RV community, hopefully those that are watching now, if you haven't had an opportunity to go to James and Ashley's YouTube channel, I strongly recommend it. Chick's Life can be very entertaining. There is no jumping off of trucks at this present time, but there's a lot of good content on there. And before I sign off, not that it's necessarily relevant or not, but were you on crutches?
Yes, I had a walking boot and crutches.
I love that you were so serious. I was like, what are we gonna be asked?
I really wanted to feel as if I was there with James and Ashley, and I've been injured. I probably have popped my knuckle once or twice on accident, and it hurts. And so I understand James's pain, but I really needed to see if the medical facility gave him a boot and or crutches to really try to figure out the severity of it, but not a boot.
It was like a Nike Air.
It was like those Air Jordans where you pump it up in the boot.
Okay. Fancy. That's really fancy.
Yeah, it's like the Cadillac boots.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. You never know when you're going to need it. I mean, who knows?
True.
We don't.
Just life's a journey. James and Ashley, I can't thank you guys enough for joining us. I always have such a great time talking to you. For our viewers that are watching, I can't urge you enough to check out Chick's Life. I mean, really, what you see, over our interview here is what you get, and they're just great people and great parents. Watching you guys with Mav and Goose, pulls on my heartstrings because I have 2 little ones. So it's always kind of fun to watch you guys with them. I hope you get back to dirt biking, when it's safe, when it's convenient. Really look forward to you guys documenting your travels, but also the do-it-yourself stuff. I think that right now, anything, especially in the RV community, but just as people in general, anything you can share, somebody else may need to see or watch or listen or hear. And I think it's awesome that you guys put that stuff out there for others to enjoy. So just wanted to thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
All right.